One.
We good to go?
Yes.
Cool. Right. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to my Managers of Tomorrow presentation. My name's Tom Vivian. I'm the service manager down at Snows Toyota and Lexus down in Bournemouth. And joining me today for my presentation is our area general sales manager, Del Vaughan.
Hello.
So I'm here today to present my presentation and my PowerPoint of a project which I've been working with closely with some key stakeholders, which I'll mention shortly in this PowerPoint, and some of the areas of development which we found during a recent accounts review with one of our head accountants, Sam Jesney. So I'm really looking forward to going through this with you in a little bit more detail. So just to introduce some of the main people which I've been working with in this project, those of which are Mike Maidman, who's our head of after sales, Del Vaughan, who's kindly joined me for this PowerPoint today, who's our accredited area general sales manager, Jamie Davies, who's my direct line manager and also our general manager for Snows Toyota and Lexus down in Bournemouth, and of course Sam Jesney, who is our accountant for this division, and then you've got myself, who's the service manager down at Toyota and Lexus in Bournemouth. So what this project is going to show in this PowerPoint is a little bit about what I've learned about turnover, gross profit, service expenses and service direct profit. How can I make marginal gains with the team that I've got and actually the budgets which are given to me to look after? So in this slide here, this is a spreadsheet from our accountant Sam Jesney. This is real life data and I'm working off a half yearly plan here. So just to give you a bit of an idea, I had an accounts review which was held with key project stakeholders and managers to discuss Bournemouth's half yearly performance, including expenditure. During this discussion, the focus would be of cost of productive labour, i.e. cost of sale, and any underperforming revenue streams. So looking at the revenue streams here, I've got the retail, warranty, internal and MOT, and then there's a non-franchise section. Everything's looking pretty healthy with the exception of warranty and the non-franchise. So I really needed to understand what the non-franchise meant. However, one thing that stood out to me was the warranty underperformance. So this was what I wanted to focus my project on mainly because these revenue streams are, what runs my department. So I bullet pointed some points together. These are the final costed account notes which show underperformance in certain areas, which are the warranty hours, which is 6,620 hours back against plan, and then the large discrepancies in a non-franchise. So this is where the root cause started. In order to understand it, I conducted the 5 whys. So my questions were, why are the warranty hours underperforming? Why do we have an overachievement in MOT, retail and internal? And why do we have why do we have a huge underachievement in non-franchise? Also, why is the budget written so high for non-franchise? And then finally, why is there no improvement plan for warranty? So to answer my own questions, what I found was, the diary resource availability, service advisor ability to administrate, and technician skill ability would most likely be the reason why the warranty hours are underachieving. So I'm looking at this more from a skill perspective than availability perspective. Why do we have an overachievement? Well, that would be because there's correct loading of resource in the diary, and most of the work that comes through is basic and straightforward. Why do we have a huge underachievement in non-franchise? Well, what I found was the non-franchise is set up for Lexus, and as the Bournemouth division is set up as franchise opposed to dealerships, most of the non-franchise was looking for Lexus. However, that goes into a different accounts review because our Lexus site is down the road over at Westquay, so that makes sense. Also, for question 4, the budget would be correct if Lexus was here at Bournemouth, but instead it's over at Poole. Again, hence the large discrepancy. If we looked at Lexus's sheets, we'd see again a discrepancy because they'd be looking for Toyota, which of course is here in Bournemouth, instead of down at Poole. Why is there no improvement plan for warranty? Well, that's because this type of deep dive hasn't been conducted before and we haven't actually looked at it. And maybe before my time this happened, but certainly not whilst I've been here. So, along with my 5 whys, I've also done a fishbone analysis. So I've tried to blow up everything that I could think would be a reason for warranty underperforming. So this is how I've done it. I've put in bold my main sort of areas and then what feeds into that area and then how it all feeds into this larger underperformance. So TGB only offer one course for warranty administrators, and that's called the PTS 38B course, which is Warranty Administration. It's a 2-day course, which is normally hosted at Burniston. So I needed to understand how many people have conducted this training, because it's quite an important course to understand how to approach warranty, and especially with TGB's service activated 10-year. So if you've got new staff, of course it comes hand in hand with the training. Diary loading, do I have enough hours? Can I facilitate enough hours in the diary to actually be able to hit planned hours? Do I have enough technicians? Do I have the right accreditation to be able to handle the manufacturer's warranty work? The requirements, so do I have enough technicians, administrators, and actually do I have a robust audit process so that we're not tripping over ourselves when it comes to claims? And how is this being measured? Power BI through TGB and also Snows, and Sam Jesney's account reviews. Are we talking about it enough? So the fishbone analysis helps break down what could be contributing to underachievement. It also gives me clarity on where the areas of focus lie. From this, I can see that the technician availability and skill combined with administrator training are the key areas that require further investigation. On my next slide, I've also used the 3C analysis. So I've got concern, cause, and countermeasures. So for warranty underachievement, which I would put in my red if you were going to put it in like a traffic light system, capable staff members, both front and back of house, may be missing opportunities due to limited experience and knowledge. Experienced team members may also not be utilised effectively. Under amber, I've got we're a new business. So as a new business, still establishing processes and developing staff who are relatively inexperienced in the motor trade, warranty opportunities arising through service activation are currently being missed. Countermeasures. So productivity tweaks and training. We will be adjusting our master technician productivity to allow for coaching, while also investing in the front of house team to build stronger. Understanding of warranty processes. This will also help prevent missed opportunities and maximise returns. Now I've got a plan, do, act, check flowchart. So this one's relatively straightforward. Our plan is to have accounts reviews more often and also a technician review with the 2 master technicians. Our do is to check the resources, check planned expenses, check adjustments are in line with budgets. Our act is to adjust the productivity targets, to start a recruitment campaign, to diarise weekly account reviews, and book in front of house training. Our check will be on a daily doc review to see if we're trending in the right direction. Will be weekly WOC reviews to ensure that it's consistent. Account reviews weekly over phone and Teams, and then face-to-face monthly at dealership. And then finally, an accounts review with the more senior management such as Mike and Dell. Now looking into diary and availability, I've put together a piece on this slide showing how my diary is currently loaded in the best format which I think would be presentable. So diary loading shows that 62.50 hours per week can be allocated to the warranty work at 12.5%. For every invoiceable hour, we can recover £66.40, which means the total recovery for 62.5 hours would be £4,150. However, not every warranty hour can be claimed. Despite this current setup should allow us to achieve the planned hours. So, total capacity is 507 hours booked across the week, Monday to Saturday. Monday to Friday will be fully loaded at 100 hours with a smaller allocation on Saturday of 7 hours with no Sunday bookings. My work breakdown looks like this if I had to put my resources into pots. So I've got general mechanical at 18 hours, sales work at 3 hours, my diagnostic work at 6.5 hours, MOT at 15 hours, service work is at 38 hours, my VHC service advisor appointments at 6.6, and my warranty at 12.5. So minimal bookings again on a Saturday. However, this particular setup right now should not be putting any barriers in the way of us achieving our warranty planned hours for the half year target. So, with that in mind, we currently only have one particular service advisor who's trained in warranty administration. So it only makes sense to bring more of the team up to speed on this topic, given the current underperformance. Whilst the potential cost of having an advisor out the business may be high, a good understanding of service-activated warranty will help prevent missed opportunities and ensure warrantable work is identified when it arises, allowing us to capitalise on the day. The monthly planned budget allows for £2,250, which would be charged to the nominal ledger of X, and which would be on the training courses, and the other nominal ledger code of Y, which would be hotel costs. So sending one advisor would cost £1,734, so sending them in separate months would not be an issue and would remain in the planned budget for training and hotel costs. So just a really quick breakdown of what this would look like. It would be the cost of training a service administrator would cost about £1,334 for the course from TGB, about £300 for the accommodation, bed, dinner and breakfast, about £100 worth of fuel, maybe a little bit more if it's up at Burniston from Bournemouth, but Burheath shouldn't be too much of a problem. And it's really hard to put a cost of time out of the business, especially when they're not productive people, albeit they are very productive. One good service advisor could lose you thousands, so I didn't really know exactly how much to put on this, but at the very minimum, having a service advisor out of business would definitely lose you, I would personally say, a minimum of £900 to £1,000. But having them out on a course would certainly be money well invested and time well invested as well. Moving on, so I had to pick who am I going to send on these particular courses, who is ready to move on to that more responsible role of handling warranty cases, which can come with risk as well. Obviously, if anything was to be picked up as a problem or any bad claims, shall we say, there's always that risk of extrapolation through previous warranty claims. So certainly don't want that to happen, and that's why we want to invest in the training as well. Well, the obvious candidates were, one of them being Kevin Annetts, who is a long-term service advisor. Not much time spent with Toyota and Lexus, however, he's got 20 years in the trade. He's got a deep understanding of systems such as OneLink, EMAC, CDK, so he really is the ideal employee to lead this kind of training project plan. I've got 2 cases which I've got in with the TGB right now to get him enrolled on the course, and I've had conversations with him. He's really looking forward to being able to take this on, and actually it's going to empower him to be better at his job. Sean Wright, he's our new assistant service manager. Now, Sean's got 6 years in the trade. He comes from a premium German brand who their processes are airtight. I actually came from it myself, so I can say for gospel how difficult it can be with some of the German brands. he's undertaken several big site HSO audits, which are all about warranty. So I also believe he's the ideal candidate for putting on this course as well. And as you can see, I've put a request in for Sean to be enrolled on this course. So looking forward to getting him trained up. Now, with the front of house plan sort of done and in action, I shifted my attention onto the back of house, so the workshop, and how can I utilise the people that I've got, because can't really put them on a warranty course, albeit it might be a good idea for the Master Techs, but what can I do with the team that I've got right now, and is there scope to move on to potentially get more people in? So trying to understand why we might be getting a deficit from the workshop is because warranty work is less lucrative for technicians than internal or retail work. So we have restructured our productivity targets and pay bandings to better support higher skilled technicians. To assist with calculations, I've created an Excel sheet which I would attach as evidence of how we track and monitor targets and efficiencies. So what I'm going to do as part of my evidence, I've developed a Excel sheet which calculates how many hours they're in for training, holiday. It's a direct report which gets pulled from CDK, dumps into my Excel sheet, and it does all the workings out for me, including productivity bandings, pay, overtime, and management time as well. So I look forward to sharing that with you in the evidence. So just trying to get an idea of how much it would cost me to employ another technician and sort of what I could expect to see back from it. It's clear from the accounts review that other income streams such as retail and internal are overachieving. However, with vacant ramps available, there should be no issue expanding the team by recruiting an additional diagnostic technician to manage more complex work more effectively, or alternatively by upskilling an existing technician and employing another service technician. So I wanted to give myself a rough idea of how much it would cost me and what I can expect to bring back from additional recruitment. So a technician cost for a service technician at about 41 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, would cost me around 36,000, and I can expect per hour a £93.03 return. Where did I get that figure from? Well, that's our general recovery rate which we run at, and that's our bottom line planned recovery rate from both the brand and Snows. So that's what I would expect minimum back from a technician. So I would expect back almost 200,000 turnover, and then by the time we've paid the wages, this is not including national insurance and pension contribution, it would be about 162,339. So good gains and looking promising on getting a second technician. Another technician. So I want to be able to utilise my master technicians a little bit better, and I want them to be able to upskill the team. And I've had a conversation with them, and we agree that this is the way to do it. So with tweaking their efficiencies, you can see here that I've got their productivity targets here, with the exception of Ray, who's quite new to us. So he's on like an induction efficiency plan for about 3 months, and then he goes up to service tech level on the 4th. So to ensure our master technicians Neil and Perry are utilised to their full potential, I have developed a section within my master Excel sheet that allows me to allocate management time for the periods when they are away from productive work. This prevents them from being penalised and in turn helps upskill our less experienced technicians, whilst reducing any anxiety around identifying and carrying out warranty work. In addition, this can be used to review write-ups to ensure maximum return is achieved on every warranty claim. Now, what I mean by that is on some warranty claims, a technician may replace some injectors, for example, and they'll just put down an R&R, so removal and reinstallation of injectors. However, they won't necessarily put down that they've gone in and used a handheld device, i.e. a diagnostic laptop, to clear down the fault codes. Now, what a lot of technicians don't know is you can actually have that time claimed for. They think it's just a repair. A good master technician with their knowledge should be able to go around and tell some of the service technicians that time you've got with the laptop, you can actually have that time claimed for. So this is the purpose of having the master technicians review write-ups and help upskill, because there could be some times in repairs that we're not claiming for, and again, it's missed opportunity. So I believe that's time well spent. And it takes away that anxiety from perhaps a technician who's not as experienced as a master tech of tackling warranty work, which can be quite frightening. And actually, the times aren't always great. So trying to get that done in a good time is difficult. So, of course, big changes, and I've just gone in and changed productivity rates. You know, I have to substantiate this because at the end of the day, it's not my show. And I need to send in what's called a TAP to Mike Bademan and the accounts team to really justify that everything I'm doing here is above board and I can substantiate these changes that I've made. So at the end of each month, I will submit both the Excel sheet that I've created along with the SNOWS TAP, so the Technician Attendance and Productivity. This will demonstrate how their time has been spent against what I've put through. And I'll also accompany with some follow-up notes. So you can see that they've got supervisory time, so that will have to match my management time as well. And then they can see how long they've been productive for and how long they've been supervising and supporting. Again, as long as I've got the uptick on the hours and the labour rate, I'm sure and I'm confident that none of this will be a problem. So we've got a plan for the service advisors, we've got a plan for the back of house and the technicians. But I really want to make this visible for everyone. It's all well and good bringing people into a room and saying we've got an underperformance. Now, I'm the only one with visibility to this and I'll just update you when I can. I really want to have this out in real time. And in order to do that, we have actually got a couple of televisions scattered around the business here because we're a multi-million-pound site, we're new, RC25. And I'd really like to get the most from those televisions as I can. So I'm going to prepare a business plan to present to Mike Bademan, justifying the introduction of a live KPI screen in the workshop. This will enable our technicians to see which pillars are underperforming in real time. The data can be taken directly from real-world analytics. It's actually quite a new report to the SNOWS Group, and I'm sure that Mike will be really happy to try and get that out on the main screens. Alternatively, we can use my Excel sheets as well, which I've built. So either which way, we have plenty of Excel sheets, reports that we can display to the technicians, which won't be in any breach of any data or anything. They're just live data. Here's the RWA report. So you can see it's got our retail, internal, warranty and MOT. This is the one all the eyes are on right now, will be the warranty report. And we're definitely going to be looking for an uptick on that over the next 6 months. Alternatively, I can also use this sheet as well, which will give the guys a real time on how far we are behind hours and labour sales as well. Now, I use this daily myself as just a doc, but it would be quite nice to share with the team to give everyone a real good idea of where we are. And also, my guys are targeted on labour sales, so I think they'd welcome this. So, half-yearly performance then, as well as just plastering it around on screens in the business, having the occasional meeting, short one-to-ones. I had a conversation with my line manager, Jamie Davies, and Jamie suggested that we should put this forward to the entire team, everyone, some of these changes that we're going to be making, and actually give everyone scope on where we are financially. So we've done this in what's called a town hall. And I've got the evidence to provide what we've done with that town hall, and you'll be able to have a look at some of the financials which we shared with the entire team, including parts, sales, service and workshop. Right, so I've put together a really quick Gantt chart which should give you a good idea of how all this has come to play and what the timescales look like. So, of course, I had the initial review with Sam and the senior managers. Process adjustment began pretty much immediately. You know, master technicians in the office, let's get this process, let's change things, let's change how we're going about it. Now, after that, Neil and Perry are now on their 80% productivity target, and they're now beginning to spend that 20% of their time training, checking the job cards, making sure that we're really capitalising on everything we can. Performance monitoring now, so I'm looking more deeply as part of my project into the warranty. Have we got a good audit structure? Are we utilising jobs correctly in form of making sure that if we've got any outstanding recalls, they have to be checked. Even before the car comes in, we've got to have a strong process. So as part of my performance monitoring, actually it comes into the strategic planning as well to make sure that we're prepping our job cards correctly with any outstanding campaigns or live recalls on them. So presentation and reporting, the business plan I've put forward for the live tellies is now with Mike and Jamie, and they're going to be reviewing it to see if it's cost effective, which I'm sure it will be. Accounts review now, I am now part of every accounts review moving forward, given my keen interest on making more revenue for the business. I've also put together a really quick SMART plan, just to give you an idea of how this project has looked and how we're measuring it. So specific, we want to increase the warranty hours, we want to increase the technician headcount, we want to increase the service advisor ability, we want to monitor expenses, we want clear visibility of franchise targets, and ensuring costs are substantiated with a suitable return. Measurable, monthly accounts reviews with Sam Jesney, monthly after sales managers meeting with Mike Maidman and Del Vaughan, RWA report and daily doc reports, and review of month final account notes with Jamie Davis. Achievable, so booking relevant courses via Compass, one-to-one reviews with master technicians, closing the £6,662 deficit for warranty target, and starting a technician recruitment campaign. Why is it relevant? Warranty hours will require achievement in line with franchise targets set by the brand. Having upskilled staff should uptick other KPIs such as CRS. Short-term investment should guarantee a long-term gain. Time bound, 6 months to close the deficit. Technician notice period, 4 weeks. Service advisor time away from the business, about a day and a half if you factor in travelling. 1 month reviews, completion for H2 account review in January 2026. So, who's going to be accountable for this plan and project of mine? Well, I've divided it into 2 sections, front and back of house. Starting with the back of house, Perry, one of our accredited master technicians, will obviously now be on the 80% reduced productivity target. So his responsibility will be upskilling the team, taking away that anxiety, double checking the job cards coming in and out of the workshop. The exact same for Neil Viner, another one of our technicians. He's also now on a reduced productivity target where he can monitor, check, work with the guys, try and bring that skill level up of the entire workshop. Ashley Metcalf, so he's one of our accredited diagnostic technicians. His productivity has now also been tweaked. And because of this tweaking, and obviously the deficit in their hours, which could potentially be lost in this plan, the cost of recruiting additional technician. So we're going to get an additional technician in to do this, and it will be a service technician. Front of house team, so myself will be leading the project, and I'll be the one measuring the KPIs. Sean Wright, our assistant service manager, who's new to Toyota. He will be our new Toyota approved warranty administrator, being able to identify, process and claim service activated warranty claims. Kevin Annetts, there's a training plan in place to enhance knowledge on service activated warranty to identify opportunities perhaps missed before. Lois Morris, well, she is going to continue to work alongside myself and is responsible for invoicing the lion's share of the warranty work whilst upskilling others. So, expected cost and return for H2 development. So, an additional technician, yearly salary, 36,000, half yearly, 18,000. National insurance yearly contribution, £3,712.20. Half yearly, £1,856.10. Pension contribution, £892.80. Half yearly, £446. Training Team 21 over 12 months would cost us 5,000, although half yearly we're looking at 2,500. The total costs for H2 to expect would be 22,802 pence. The hours produced over H2 would be 885 hours, which would bring in a labour sales projection on 82,300 for every £93.03 recovery rate, which means the return after the cost of sale should be 59,597. Front of house training, warranty training course will cost us around £1,334, hotel 300, fuel 100, total cost 1,734. The proposed return for an additional training and adjustment to the workshop mentoring should generate an additional, and this is really the key area here, an additional 2 hours identified a day at warranty return rate of £66.40 over 108 days will turn over £7,171, closing the deficit. So again, I want to stress that this is the sort of key area. This is the end game which I was looking for. All I need is a marginal gain. All I need is 2 hours extra a day, which we might just be able to find alone in workshop, being able to identify any missed claim codes, operational codes. Or it could just be that Kevin and Sean, they've got a little bit of a better understanding of service activated warranty, whereas a client might not necessarily want that work done because they can't afford it, let's say. We'll be able to identify that as service activated in line with the terms and conditions, and therefore we'll be able to get those extra 2 hours a day. It doesn't sound a lot, but over the next 108 days, it could be the difference, and it will be the difference. So along with this, the cost for the operational KPI screens will be an Excel license, which I already hold, and my colleague Sean Wright already holds as well. It's about £60 per employee. I need 2 desktop PCs in order to run the KPI setup because we're not allowed to use cloud streaming services. And the cost for television power will work out about £20 for the 6 month. All in all, £680.16. So, how do we look so far then? Here's the results and progress. And remember, this is a 6 month plan, so I don't have all the results on me right now. However, we have 1 technician on offer and he's accepted, and we didn't have to get recruitment agencies involved, so that saved us a large cost. We've got 1 advisor booked on the warranty course, we've got 1 manager booked on the warranty course, we've got 2 technicians now on an 80% productivity target, 1 diagnostic technician. Forgive me, I recognise a typo here, should be 90, but I've put 70, just to be clear, 90% productivity target.